A shocker of a shit show.
Eavesdroppin.
Oh, here we are. It's another week at Eavesdroppin, the comedy podcast you've tuned in. Well done.
Well done to you. You're an eavesdropper.
Who knew?
Can you believe it? Actually, Geordie, if we introduce ourselves,
Yes, Michelle.
we've done it right at the top of the episode, which is very unusual for us.
Crack that out.
Crack that whip. I'm Michelle.
I'm Geordie.
This is Eavesdroppin. You know that because we just said it 1 minute ago.
We'll keep saying it until you get it through your thick skulls, for God's sake. It's eavesdropping, God damn
I'm
it.
going to knock your heads together. That's what your mum used to
I'll
say.
bash those heads together.
Bash? Oh. That's very aggressive.
Mum, no, please don't.
Don't bash me, Mum. Knock your bloody heads together.
I'll knock your block off.
Knock your block off.
Do you know what my nana used to say?
What?
I'll flog you.
Flog.
And then she'd say, with kisses.
Oh, that's very adorable. We were talking the other day. We were skiing.
Skiing and talking. God, you are such a multi-functioning human.
I know. I've got these new goggles. They're reactive ones, but they kind of slide down a little bit. And then it pushes all that wet snot that you get when you're skiing right out. And I was like, oh, I'm dripping like a tap. I said, oh, have you got a tissue? And of course, you know, the only tissues people have are the used ones, which takes me right back to my childhood when Mum would say, right, here you go, blow, and then same tissue,
another
next kid,
child.
blow.
And if you were standing in third in line of the four, then you were unlucky.
Or fourth. Fourth was like
the
the worst pole position. So, and of course, she'd do a little spit on her thumb.
Wet finger.
Or on the wet tissue. Yes, like wipe your face off. Oh, the good old days. What were the little names that your mum used to say to you?
Pet.
I mean, I remember Jen would always say, oh, come on, chicken.
Do you know I call my kids pigs?
Flossie.
Come on, pig.
Oh,
Hey, Piggy, how was school?
oh no, Piggy's cute.
Well, I've shortened it to pig now they're teenagers.
Oh.
Seems appropriate. But when you just said about the snot stream, I learnt a new phrase from my youngest, who's 13 now. He's a big boy. I can't remember what it's called, but I will get back to you on that.
Candlestick?
The snot stream. No. He said there was some kid at school, you know, the one with the... And he called it something. I can't remember what it is, but it was very clever.
Oh, going back to this whole snow thing, obviously, Olympics, what a big deal. Totally.
Is it?
Are you not into the Winter Olympics?
I didn't even know it was on, Michelle.
You are fucking out of your mind. It's the only thing on television right now.
Well, I had no idea.
I'm hooked on the curling and...
Hooked on curling!
Hooked on curling. But there is a video that's gone viral. I sent it to Eavesdropper Steph. They're in Milano Cortina. That's where the Winter Olympics are being held.
Yes.
A girl doing, I think, slope style or whatever on a snowboard. She's coming down the track. This little black squirrel runs onto the course, goes right almost between her and the fucking snowboard.
Oh, my God.
Manages to live. I'm obsessed with this video.
Geez.
I've sent it and shown it to everyone I know except you.
Send it to me.
I'm going to put it on the Patreon. I can't stop thinking about that poor little baby. Must have been so scared, but it lived. And I do think if she had sliced over that little squirrel, this video would not have gone viral.
I would hope not.
It would be so grim. Oh, it was just so heartbreaking.
That's
and
horrific.
I'm obsessed with that. Speaking of
Olympics.
Olympics, obviously, you know, I've been obsessed with the gay love story, hockey pounding,
yes.
heated rivalry. Well, I couldn't get enough.
Oh, Jesus, Michelle. I told you were obsessed. It's awakened something in you. I said that. You just can't get enough hot gay sex.
No, do you know what was the opposite? I just wanted something to get me in the mood for the Olympics.
Jesus.
So
okay,
I watched this terrible, I say it's terrible, it's just because it's tween TV series called Finding Her Edge. And it's about three sisters who their mum died and the dad and them, they run an ice skating rink and it's all ice skating rivalry and... Oh, do you know what? It's like Dawson's Creek, but Canadian and set on an ice rink. Kids would love it. And they could definitely watch that because there's no gay pounding.
Maybe you should try watching I, Tonya.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you? I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
With Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I'd like to see that. But speaking of Olympics, I've got something to add to that.
Okay.
It's not about the Winter Olympics. I had a message. There's a conversation I had last night, actually, with a friend of ours in Australia, Michelle.
Okay.
Who also has a posh husband. She sent me a video of her son practicing for his school carnival at the very same pool that I used to do my school carnival, swimming carnival at.
Okay.
And her husband was teaching him how to do the roly-polies in the water and how to do the dive in. And of course, he went to all the fancy boarding schools, as did my husband. So he's got the fantastic swimming moves and whatnot. And I was loving it. I said, he's so much like my husband, I bet he can do the butterfly. And she said, oh, yes. She said, he does do the butterfly. And in fact, he did it one night in Bali under the moonlight. And everyone thought he was being attacked by a shark. And then I said, well, that sounds identical to what my husband would do. Just suddenly break into butterfly.
Into butterfly.
I know, it's ridiculous. She said, it's the equivalent to having a skipping race at the Olympics. It's a bit dandy.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, bless. But, you can't joke about shark attacks right now.
Oh, why not? Well, I mean, when could you?
Well, in Australia.
What happened?
Recently, there's like about 4 people have been attacked.
At once?
One 12-year-old got chomped to death.
No!
Yeah.
Where?
Sydney.
Vaucluse.
It's up around there. It's actually called Shark Bay because they had a net.
They took the net down.
Well, I don't know. It was a terrible combination of there'd been heavy rains, a lot of fresh water, and the sharks came in and were just chomping on legs here, there, and everywhere, and killed a 12-year-old. So
all at once. Did this happen in one go?
No, it happened over about 2 or 3 days. It was a few weeks ago. Yeah, really, really awful. Look, as we're in Australia, talking about Australia.
We've suddenly gone to Australia.
Yes. I've got to say, Maths Australia, it's back, baby.
Where is it? I couldn't find it.
Channel 9. Get that VPN on.
Oh, the VPN.
Yes,
okay.
Get it on. It's not in the UK yet, and it is, as always, a bloody shocker.
A shit show.
Shocker of a shit show. Yes.
A shocker of a shit show.
Shocker of a shit show. At your peril, start watching, because once you're in, you're in.
You can't get out.
In. It's terrible. Jen's in. Eavesdropper Steph's in. Actually, Eavesdropper Steph had actually, I don't know if it's a wreck. She said she watched a film with Rose Byrne. If I had legs, I'd kick you.
I've heard about that.
Yes, she said it was fucking weird.
Oh, okay. Is that a wreck or an anti-wreck?
I don't know. I didn't get around to asking if it was a wreck or an anti-wreck. But she said in the same breath, she's been re-watching all the Molly Ringwald movies.
Oh, they don't tend to stand up.
Well,
Breakfast Club was a bit of a dud.
Was it? She hadn't watched that
Second
one.
time round.
She watched Pretty in Pink with her daughter, who I think really identified with, there's a girl with a gay best friend and wrong side of the tracks, cut up her pink dress.
Made it absolutely appalling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
But James Spader, she chose... Who did she choose? She chose...
Well, she chose the hot guy, but I think in the end, doesn't she go...
But James Spader is fucking hot in that.
Yeah, he's the hot guy. He's the hot...
But she didn't choose him. She went for the other hot guy.
In the end, she went for the
other
one.
Guy? He was in that Brat show.
Yeah, he's in all... They're all part of the Brat
something?
Pack, weren't they?
Andrew...
Yes.
McCarthy. I get there in the end.
Yes, better than me. I did think, how nice to, sit on the sofa with a bag of popcorn, watching old 80s movies.
Well, listen, all these things are going to go on our Patreon, aren't they, Michelle? Which is over on
of course.
etc. You don't even have to say www. Anymore. A young person told me. It's over on Eavesdroppin. Patreon.com/Eavesdroppin. No G.
Yes.
Yeah. Go over there, buy us a coffee or a packet of Chewy, as Michelle says, and you can get a whole list of TV recommendations that have been mentioned on the episodes now and beyond.
And just bits.
Extras.
Bits of stuff. Extras. I pop all sorts of silly things on there, and if we've talked about the 80s, look, I'm probably going to put some clips of Molly on there. It's the good stuff.
And once a month you get an extra episode too from Michelle and I.
Yes.
I've got a rec.
What is it?
The other night, my husband and I watched a film that was on TV, and it's called The Ballad of Wallace Island. Wallace being like the clothing store Wallace, Wallis, Wallace.
Yes.
The Ballad of Wallis Island. It's probably not a real place, but it looked like it should be one of those Hebridean or Scottish islands, okay? Mm-hmm. It's a film with Tim Key, who has been in lots of comedy things like Alan Partridge. He's his little sidekick that does the weather when he was doing the Morning Matters. Did you see that series of Alan Partridge?
Yes,
Morning
but
Matters?
I can't think of who.
He's the one who fucks up on the weather map and he does the social media and can never do it right.
Sounds funny.
He's hilarious. I love Tim Key. And Tom Basden, who's an actor comedy guy from Afterlife. He was the brother-in-law who ran the newspaper shop.
I liked that, yes.
Yeah, he's handsome as well. And apparently he also played Jeremy Corbyn in the 2018 Royal Wedding Special of The Windsors. Oh. That's a very funny show, by the way, The Windsors.
So it's chock full of comedic talent.
Yes. They wrote this film as a short film and then redid it, and it won a bunch of awards, and it's on TV right now on certain platforms. Tom Basden actually performs the music, and it's very, very good. He plays a very, very famous folk musician who used to perform with his partner, female partner, played by Kerry Mulligan, until they parted ways. And they've got a huge fan base, and Tim Key's character is a millionaire who lives on a remote island somewhere, and he employs them for a private show. Okay. And it's just a really lovely, full of humour and heart. And
I like that. It's a good watch. It's an easy watch.
It's an easy watch. It's great music. It's original music. And they won, actually, like I said, lots of awards. They won Best Lead Joint Performance and Best Original Music and Screenplay at the British Independent Film Awards last year.
So is it a newish film?
Yeah, last year it came out, end of last year.
Fantastic. And did you watch it on BBC?
Probably something on Sky.
Oh, okay.
You know? And it's basically a film that's got music in it, but lots and lots of story in there as well. I loved it. And I don't know, did I ever tell you about the film Sinners that I watched on the plane?
Yes.
God, it was good. That's also another film that has music in it, but it's done in a way that kind of changes genre, and it's just kind of like out of the blue. It's a brilliant film, and that's also currently on all the televisions.
Okay, well, I'll have to put all of that.
Yeah, put it on.
Rex. Recky Rex.
Wreck away.
Wreck away.
Pick up your panties and go, Jen. Pick up your panties and go. You don't need that. Leave the kids behind. Pick up your panties and go.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I'm just thinking if I've had time to watch anything else. You know, what with maths and
you're so busy
finding her edge in the bloody Olympics, because I do like the biathlon. Haven't seen any of that. I love the big air.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh my God.
I'm not sporty.
No, but you don't have to be sporty to watch the Winter Olympics. I prefer them to the Summer Olympics.
You might have to be interested. I'm not really a sport watcher.
Me either, but it's amazing what they do.
Yes, of course.
They jump off they ski or snowboard off these huge ramps and do tricks.
Well done. That's great.
And the ice dancing. Oh, my God. There was this American ice dancer. He was a bit weird, and he didn't land all his jumps, but he won.
Oh.
And the Japanese guy, who was absolutely flawless, so elegant, didn't win. And when he found out he didn't win...
Who did he pay?
Well, I don't know, but he sobbed.
I'm not surprised.
It was really awful because he just felt like, oh, my God, you know, is this going to be harikari like, Japanese? I don't know. It was really awful, very difficult to watch. And then, of course, Lindsey Vonn, who was this huge skier who was doing like ski racing, she made her comeback and within 2 seconds had basically broken her leg and was screaming in agony and had to get
I do not want to watch this
off.
snuff show of a snuff film of a shit show that you call the Olympics. Thank you very much.
It's absolutely fantastic. No. I mean, it'll all be over by the time this comes out, I'm sure. I love it. If you love the Winter Olympics, do write in. Or even if you don't, write in.
Just keep writing,
we
folks.
We love it when people write in.
So there you go. Where do you go? There you go. So there you go.
There you go. I'm not going to go into the boring drama that is my dentist history, because I was for the 5th time recently at the dentist again.
Oh.
I can't talk about it. It's going to trigger me.
Oh, God.
I'm in tooth-related trauma about it all. But anyway, putting that to one side, I was telling my gay dentist about the podcast.
Oh.
And he was like, well, I've got something you can look into.
Really?
He said, a friend of my Thai boyfriend.
What? I love this guy.
You a serial killer.
What?
Yes. And the nickname of the serial killer was the Snake.
Oh.
So he said this friend was hanging out with this guy in the 80s and that he was a gem trader.
The Serpent.
Exactly. He totally got the name bloody wrong.
I've seen the show.
I haven't seen the show.
Yes, I've seen the TV show. It's great.
Oh, my God. Well, that's what I'm talking about today, because the friend said, oh, he was a really nice guy. He didn't try to murder me or sell me dodgy jewels or take my passport or anything. So
He was lucky.
and he had no idea. He just thought he was this kind of hottie.
Yeah, because apparently
hot
he's
guy.
really hot. Yeah.
Well, I've seen pictures of him. I mean, he was a bit of a exotic looker in the day. So I was like, okay, I've got to look this up. And like you say, of course, he wasn't the snake. He was a bloody serpent. And it's a very twisty story.
Twisty like a snake or a serpent.
Exactly.
Ass.
Oh, I'm going to get snaky on this dodgy con artist who was smuggler, thief, serial killer. It's called, and I'm not going to know how to say these names well, Charles Sobhraj.
Yes, Sobhraj. That's it.
I mean, if you know this story, because I think it's not like a underground story, when he was telling me all this in the dentist chair,
He thought it was a secret.
he did. He thought
the intel.
He thought, oh, I've got the inside scoop.
There was an ITV miniseries out last year and a film and this, that and the other. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a well-known story. But I'd never heard of this guy. So, Charles Sobhraj, born 6th of April 1944 in Saigon, now Ho Chi Minh City. His birth name, and again, I'm going to try hard here,
Do your best.
Hochand Bawani Gamerk Sobhraj.
Well done.
You think?
I
don't know. I think someone might have some comments on that. Dad was an Indian businessman and his mother was a Vietnamese shop worker called Nui. His dad was Sindhi, and I didn't know what that was, so I looked it up. AI Overview says Sindhis are the 3rd largest ethnic group in Pakistan.
Oh.
They're diverse in religion, with a majority being Muslim and the minority being Hindu.
Okay.
This is important because apparently Charles's parents never married, and that was a big no-no because they had Charles, obviously. But Indian businessman dad denied the paternity.
Right.
So I think the mum was left kind of high and dry with this kid. But she landed on her feet when she married a French army lieutenant called Jacques Roussel, who adopted Charles's brother, but not him.
Oh.
Bit weird. Apparently, Jacques did register Charles in some kind of records. Registered him as in 1959 as Charles Gamerk Sobhraj. So he didn't really have proper citizenship in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So he was a bit kind of adrift, especially as the stepfather's job meant the family was moving around back and forth between Southeast Asia and France. So Vietnam tried to conscript him when he was a bit older. Didn't happen. India wasn't interested in him, but France did grant him temporary citizenship. As a child, I think because he obviously was a bit fucked up, he was always running away from home, shoplifting, that kind of thing. When his temporary French visa ran out, while he was living in Vietnam, he was like, I want to go back to France. So blagged his way onto planes as a stowaway.
Oh, how do you do that?
Well, you could not do it now. I mean, but back then, people could just walk onto planes like you were taking a bus. Yep. Didn't have to book. You didn't have to register.
Imagine.
Nothing. And I think he was sort of blagging his way on, saying, oh, yes, I'm doing some maintenance, and then just sat down.
Oh, wow.
You know, no passenger logs, that kind of thing. So I think this whole not belonging anywhere taught him a very valuable skill that would help him later in life, i.e. he learned how to pass himself off as anyone.
Right.
Now, as a teenager, Charles was a bit of a thief, loved a bit of burglary, loved to steal a few cars, and in fact in 1963 he got caught stealing a car and did some time at Poissy prison. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Prison.
He was at Pussy Prison, just outside of Paris. But this guy had the gift of the gab. And even in prison, he showed a real knack for knowing how to work people.
Oh.
He apparently manipulated all those guards, I think with his silver tongue.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was quite handsome.
His silver snake tongue.
Silver snaky tongue. He got the perks. You know, he got books. He got leniency and probably food treats. Yeah, he had skills.
This guy knew how to survive, because he'd obviously had to, from a very young age, manage to fit in for his own survival.
Hustler.
He had the skills.
Total hustler. Exactly. He had those skills. He could manipulate people into doing whatever he wanted. So, like, all those ways of blagging his way onto planes, prison actually gave him skills and confidence. And this would become part of his whole modus operandi later on in life. After he got paroled, he became friends with a volunteer prison mentor called Felix de Escogne. I say that in a Spanish way. He's French. I don't know how you say his name.
You go nuts.
You go,
do
girl.
What you need to do. You do you.
Felix introduced Charles into Paris's high society circles. This is where he learnt how to mix with the high end of society, rich people, all while plotting to kind of rip them off.
Oh.
During this period, he met a French woman called Chantal Compagnon, who was from a conservative upper-class, rich Parisian family. They got together. Charles was right on that and was like, let's get married. She said yes. The day he proposed to her, he got nicked for driving a stolen car, trying to outrun the police, popped in jail, 8 months in prison. Chantal stuck by him through the whole thing. When he got out in 1969, they immediately got married. By the time 1970 rolled around, Charles had become a proper French citizen based on his mother's French colonial status in Vietnam. He also committed a whole string of banking fraud, like dodgy transactions with dodgy checks. So he, and by this stage, a pregnant Chantal, decided to get the fuck out of France to avoid Charles getting arrested. So they headed off to Asia via Eastern Europe using fake travel documents because at this point, Charles was robbing tourists and stealing their passports. So eventually they wound up in Bombay, now Mumbai, where Chantal gave birth to their daughter, Usha, I guess, or Usha?
Usha.
U-S-H-A?
Usha.
Usha. Charles, not knowing anything else really, I don't think he'd ever done like a proper day of honest work in his life. Again, back to the petty crime. Stealing luxury cars and reselling them, smuggling gems and things, gambling, robbing shops, fraud. He was into it all.
He was busy, wasn't he?
Yeah, but his main thing was robbing tourists of all their cash, because those days it was travellers' checks and cash, and passports, which he had a little gang of thieves. They would use those passports to basically just hop all over Asia under false names.
Wow.
Well, not false names, other people's names.
Yes.
So in 1973, he got arrested again, this time after a bungled armed robbery at a jeweller's shop in New Delhi.
Yeah.
Now, as I said earlier, Charles, smooth talker, snaky, he came up with this plan. Somehow he faked an illness and managed to get out of custody, but fairly quickly, because after this, like I told you, he got arrested for robbing that jeweler shop. After he got out, he was recaptured, but his stepfather gave him bail money. He got out of prison, fled to Kabul. So obviously that's like pretty war-torn and troubled.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was the fucking coolest destination on the hippie trail.
Imagine that, if it could go back to those times.
I know, peace.
Simpler times.
It was really like the centre.
The hippie trail.
Yeah.
Afghanistan, right?
Yes. Or Iran. No, Afghanistan. So basically thousands of hippy-dippy Westerners searching for, spirituality and counterculture. They were traveling either by bus or VW in those beautiful combis through Europe, through Turkey, Iran and Afghanistan.
Beautiful.
To India and Nepal.
Now you have to fly.
Of course.
A different direction so you don't get...
You can't get through, so you don't get blown up. But at the time, this was easy pickings for Charles and Chantal, because Chantal was in on this. They started robbing these hippy-dippy tourists in Kabul. So what he would do is he would befriend these kind of naive travellers who were there like, oh my God, the spirituality.
Let's have a little toke of something. Let's take a mushroom. Let's take an acid trip.
All the stuff. So he was posing as a gemstone dealer. Or he'd say he's a trader. You know, he had the gift of the gab. He'd befriend them and then rob them. Take their passports, all their money. And, you know, he would just use that until the next person he'd rob. And he was like, you know, stashing all these passports for himself, you know, assumed identities. Like he was like just a guy who... He was just out for himself.
Well, clearly.
You know, had no qualms in just passing himself off. I mean, I guess he was pretty good at like changing the photos because he's reasonably tanned-skinned.
He's travelling on a German woman's passport.
Yeah, not going to happen. So I guess he was good at doing all of that.
So he's leaving these poor people stranded in a foreign country, so they're having to go to the consulates to
all of the stuff to get
help to get home. They've got no money, no passport. They're fucked.
They are fucked. But I think he got either a little bit sloppy or just really cocky, because he was doing all of this, but then he was also stealing cars, and he did get caught, and I think it was in India. Jailed for car theft, jailed for illegal border crossing and unpaid hotel bills. Thrown into jail, but he escaped by pretending he was sick and then drugging the guards with a sedative called Largactil. 1971, Chantal, by this point, had had enough. And she's like, fuck you, I'm going back to France with our kid. So she grabbed the daughter and left. Charles followed. Went to Paris, drugged his mother-in-law, kidnapped the daughter, but eventually left the daughter in Paris.
What, just randomly? Just dropped her off somewhere randomly?
No, I think he realised, like, you can't have a life of crime when you've got...
a kid in tow, absolutely.
And, you know, the mother is not there to, like, support that life of crime. So I think realised, okay, gave the daughter back to the mum. Left Paris, went to Yugoslavia, where he was arrested after stolen passports were discovered in his car. He escaped. He's the master of escaping jail. This guy is fucking like Houdini. He escaped jail in Yugoslavia and for the next few years was on the move through countries like Greece and Turkey, where he was running a passport smuggling ring with his younger half-brother, Andre Roussel, in Istanbul. But they were both arrested in Athens. Now, Andre went to jail, Charles also, but he pulled off yet another escape through some kind of identity switch trickery. Poor old Andre, though, got left behind and ended up serving a lot of years in a Turkish prison.
Yikes. Oh, can you imagine? That must be awful.
Oh, my God. Your little asshole will be on fire for sure.
Bangkok Hilton style, yeah.
So Charles, meanwhile, vanishes back into the shadows, into the dodgy underworld. By 1975, Charles was in Bangkok, Thailand, with a new Canadian girlfriend called Marie-André Leclerc and an Indian guy called AJ Chowdhury, who ended up sort of being his number one main man in crime.
Right.
Now, this was the start of the part of his life that would make headlines and give him the grim nicknames, the Serpent or the Bikini Killer.
Ew.
Yeah. So what he would do, he was spending time hanging around kind of Western tourists in Thailand, presenting himself as this gemstone trader. And once he'd got people trusting him, he would drug them, rob them, and manipulate them.
God. The old drugging thing, that's playing with fire, isn't it?
Yeah, really. So the first body that was connected to this guy was found on a beach in Pattaya in October 1975. It was a young American woman called Therese Knowlton, But if you look this up, she's been given a pseudonym over the years as well, called Jenny Bolivar in some reports. She was discovered drowned in the Gulf of Thailand wearing a bikini, hence Bikini Killer. It was initially chalked up as an accident, like a drowning.
Why would they be looking for anything else?
Well, forensics got involved and they realised this ain't no drowning, this is a murder. That's, like I said, how he got the name Bikini Killer. But strap in, Geordie, because this fucking guy, it's twisty-turny.
Baywit, it's a baywit. No shirt and thong, what a ding-dong. Baywit, it's a baywit. Big gut hanging out, giddy, 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 gas. Oh, no, I don't even know, yes. What the fuck?
You know what they say. Early bird gets the ultimate vacation home. Book early and save over $120 with Vrbo. Because early gets you closer to the action. Whether it's waves lapping at the shore or snoozing in a hammock that overlooks, well, whatever you want it to. So you can all enjoy the payoff come summer with Vrbo's early booking deals. Rise and shine. Average savings $141. Select homes only.
So soon after, Geordie, more bodies turn up. There's a Turkish guy called Vitaly Hakim. He was found burnt.
What?
Along the road near Pattaya.
Oh, that's distressing. Imagine finding that.
Horrific. Distressing. I would be scarred for life.
Absolutely.
Then 2 Dutch students, Henk Bitanja, 29, and his fiancée, Cornelia Hemke, 25, were discovered strangled and burned on the 16th of December 1975.
What's with the burning, dude?
I know, also outside of Pattaya. So these two had met Charles in Hong Kong. They'd been lured into sort of his circle. Apparently, sort of the pattern was the same with him. He'd befriend these people, you know, tourists with money and passports. He'd poison them with temazepam.
Right.
Temazepam.
I do love a temazepam.
Oh, my God. Okay.
What? Well, you know, when you're flying, it's a good anxiety. Very addictive, though, so you shouldn't take too many of them.
Do you know what? I would love one. I had a Valium once. Best flight of my life.
I know.
If I could get hold of Valium, I'm thinking actually, like, I should say to the doctor, I need some Valium or a benzo or something.
I'm anxious. We should not be advocating this on the podcast, by the way. Please, kids at home, do not try it.
Do not try this, because you might come across someone like Charles Sobhraj, who would basically poison his victims with drugs like temazepam. He would then pretend to nurse them back to health, win their trust.
What a dick.
Oh, yeah. And then he would either manipulate them by saying, well, you know, you owe me. You need to do this, 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 and this.
Right.
He'd rob them or he'd kill them if they didn't play along with his plans to
Wow.
rob other tourists. So he was leveraging these people against other tourists. At the same time, the girlfriend of the Turkish guy, Vitaly Hakim, who was found burnt, her name is Charmaine Carew. She was like, where the fuck is my boyfriend?
Oh.
She went to Thailand looking for him.
Oh, they weren't travelling together.
No, he'd gone on his own and she was back in Turkey. So she went to Thailand to look for the boyfriend. Charles and AJ somehow realised who she was. They were frightened and panicked that she was going to expose them.
Oh.
Drowned her.
Oh,
Killed her.
no.
Yep.
Come on.
Charles and AJ then killed American backpacker Connie Jo Bronzich and her boyfriend, Canadian backpacker Laurent Carrier, on the outskirts of Kathmandu.
Oh, God.
Yep.
When was this?
This was in 1975, because obviously they've fled Thailand.
Yeah. So these two didn't play ball and that's why he dispatched them.
Well, I think it could have been maybe they realised they were getting robbed, put up a fight,
Right.
because
God, how awful.
their passports were used by Charles and Marie-André Leclerc, the Canadian girlfriend,
Yeah.
to enter Nepal on the 18th of December 1975.
What a pair of dicks.
Yep. So after Charles and Marie-André got to Nepal on those passports of the American and the Canadian,
Yeah.
Because you think about it, girl and a guy. Makes sense.
Easy.
Yep. They then went back to Thailand, then to Singapore, then back to India. On the way, Charles murdered an Israeli scholar called Avoni Jacob to steal his passport, which they then used to travel further. And of course, by this point, the Thai police were looking for Charles, but they did not know his real name or identity. Because why would they?
No, why would they? And also, Michelle, this guy has now got himself into a spiral where he cannot stop killing. And I don't know if he ever planned to start killing.
No.
Or if it happened by accident. But once he started and he realised, this is my way around.
I got away with it.
Not just that, but I got away with it, but also I can get from country to country on a different passport doing this. He has to keep killing in order to change up the passports because the bodies get found, the identities get revealed. Suddenly we realise that people have been travelling on that passport for however long, and now we're looking for that person travelling on that passport, ditch that passport, kill another person, get a new passport, and so on and so on. There's no end, and they don't know who he is.
They don't know what he looks like or who he is. And the thing is, remember, this is the 1970s. There's no joining up of all of these services. There is Interpol, I think.
Interpol does exist, yeah.
But there's no internet, I'm not even sure whether fax machines at this point. Like, it's really back in the day where it had to be phone calls and clever detectives piecing this shit together. But there was an investigation, and it started when a Dutch diplomat called Herman Nippenberg and his wife, Angela Kane, started digging into the murders of that Dutch couple. So Herman had met some of Charles's robbed but not murdered travellers and realised, fuck man, we got to find this guy. He somehow found where Charles had been living.
So this guy is a diplomat living in
Thailand.
So he is the best placed person, really. It's the diplomats, if they could come out from behind their desks, which Nippenberg did.
Yep.
So it's these guys that are doing the job of Interpol, the police, and all the other international agencies who should be on the case of Sobhraj at this point.
Exactly.
And it's only because he's realised that 2 of their nationals have been murdered in a horrific way.
Yep.
And he's now doing his work on the ground. I only say this because that's the only episode of the TV series I saw.
Okay.
Which starts here.
Well, he managed to find out where Charles had been living and got permission to search that apartment.
Yeah.
He found loads of passports belonging to missing tourists. Loads. And documents and syringes with poison residue inside.
Disgusting.
So he was calculated. But while Herman Nippenberg was building his case, Charles moved on. He was in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And AJ was sent off to steal gems. AJ was seen handing these gems to Charles, but that's the last that anyone ever saw of AJ. His body was never found, but it's widely thought that Charles murdered him for whatever reason.
Right. Loose end.
Yeah, exactly. Because, he was just using that guy to further his own means. Then in 1976, Interpol did issue an international arrest warrant for Charles Sobhraj over multiple murders in Thailand.
Yeah.
But despite all of that, Charles did not slow down. In Bombay, he met 2 Western women, Barbara Smith and Mary Ellen Ether, and a Frenchman called Jean-Luc Solomon. They became part of his little criminal gang. But Charles accidentally poisoned Jean-Luc during a robbery that went wrong.
Jean-Luc, is it?
Jean-Luc? I'm not good with the old French. You know me in France, not my faves.
Fucking hell.
So during this robbery, this poison was meant to kind of incapacitate him, I guess to make him look like, oh, I'm a victim. But it ended up killing him.
He went overboard. Oh, my God. Well, to be honest, these people were never going to be, they were always going to be sacrificed at some point.
They didn't know that. But yes, of course, knowing his history, looking back.
Yeah.
They were just,
collateral
pawns in all of this. Collateral, exactly. Then came the incident that did lead to Charles's capture. So, in July 1976 in New Delhi, Charles and his gang pretended to be guides to a group of over 20 French postgrad students at a hotel.
Ooh.
He was like, here you go, take these pills. They're anti-dysentery medicine. Of course, it was poison. Yeah. Many of the students passed out, but 3 of them did not and realised something was going on.
Yeah.
They overpowered him and called the police.
Oh, amazing.
So Charles, Barbara Smith and Mary Ellen Ether were all
Arrested.
captured by the police. And, yep, at this point. When they were questioned, the girls confessed. And Charles was then arrested and sent to Tihar Jail in West Delhi. He was charged not only with attempted mass poisoning, but also with the murder of Jean-Luc Solomon and several other offences. But Charles did not give a shit. And he brought his recently paroled half-brother, Andre, in, who was out of jail now, apparently, to assist him.
With what?
With the investigation. I don't know. It's a bit weird.
So how's Charles actually investigating himself?
It's a bit strange.
What jurisdiction does he have?
I don't know, because he's in jail.
So he's conducting his own investigation from within jail using his ex-jailbird brother as his helper.
But remember, he's like this gift of the gab dude.
Illusions of grandeur.
He is hiring lawyers, firing lawyers. He's going on hunger strikes. He's getting the media all over him because they're loving him. Good looking, can talk the talk. He's doing all these stunts.
I would say there's a bit of narcissistic personality disorder going on there as well.
Yeah.
Or some kind of sociopathy, yeah.
Absolutely. And the trial turned into a bit of a spectacle, you know, in the media. People were lapping it up, couldn't get enough. But he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. His girlfriend, Marie-Andrée, meanwhile, was found guilty of drugging the students, but she was paroled and sent back to Canada after she got ovarian cancer.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she died in April 1984.
Oh, God.
I don't know. She's a bit of work.
She was a bit of a bitch, yeah.
Well, she was professing her innocence and stayed loyal to Charles the whole time. Inside Tihar Jail, despite being behind bars, Charles was up to his old tricks. He was living his best life. He was bribing the guards, got a TV shipped in, he was getting gourmet food.
Jesus.
Journalists were allowed in to interview him.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know, he was talking the talk. There were two journalists, Richard Neville and Julie Clark.
Richard Neville.
You know him?
Yes, because he's Australian and...
No, I think he's...
Australian.
British.
He's Australian and he was based, along with Germaine Greer and Clive James, in England in the 60s and the 70s. And they started the magazine...
I know the one you mean.
What's that magazine? And you'll remember Richard Neville because in the 80s he was on TV all the time on the Willises and the Walshes and all that. He was he's an Aussie, but he spent a lot of time in...
I thought he was English.
No.
I didn't investigate him. I didn't look into him. So you probably know definitely more about him than me. Well, he was with this American girl, Julie Clark. They got commissioned to write the biography of Charles Sobhraj.
Right.
They were living in New York. They'd never done crime reporting before. And as Julie later said, they were utterly out of their depth.
Oz magazine.
Oz, yes, of course. Yeah. Oz, very good. Australian, double entendre.
Yes.
They'd gone to India, these two. They had all sorts of weird shit happen. There would be like Charles's goons were arriving at the middle of the night with messages from Charles at the hotel.
God.
They were under surveillance. He was in prison, but he was running the show. And they got into the prison to speak to him because Charles was a prisoner, but he was living the lap of luxury. Yeah. And they got in. They spoke to him about the murders. He told them everything in graphic detail. Later, he denied everything.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Said, I was framed.
So what was he thinking? He loves the limelight and then he decides, I've just incriminated myself. Let's backtrack.
I better make up a story.
Classic narcissistic behaviour.
Yep. Well, he said he made it all up as a retaliation against Western imperialism.
Right. Reaching.
And to that, I say, bullshit. Bullshit. So Julie and Richard eventually left Delhi, like fucking relieved, because they said they realised they were involved in something very disturbing and obsessive. But they did write a book called Serpent. That is what, that's how he got his
source
nickname.
material.
Yep. And while it was a true crime book about this dude, it helped Charles become a bit of a legend. So, double-edged sword there. But by March 1986, with the 20-year Thai statute of limitations getting closer, Charles decided to pull a stunt. During his 10th year in an Indian prison, he threw a party, 10 years, for guards and inmates. I'm telling you.
What? Who does that?
Somebody who's got the whole fucking prison wrapped around his little finger.
Oh, my God.
But what he did, Geordie, is he spiked all the party food with sleeping pills. And dude walked out of the Tihar jail while everyone was fucking tranquilized.
What a numpty that jail was by allowing him to have a party to celebrate 10 years in.
I know, dickheads.
Come on.
But that escape made headlines. But he was caught a few days later living it up in a restaurant in Goa. But delays in the Indian legal system meant that by the time that prison break went to trial, Thai authorities had basically lost interest in extraditing him. Oh. And the 20-year statute of limitations might also have been hit, I think.
Yeah.
By the time he finished that stretch, because he did go back to prison, it had all expired. They couldn't get him on the Thai murders. So in 1997, Charles was released from the Indian prison. He's 52 at this stage. He was allowed to go back to France. And he kind of slipped into a bit of a quiet life, although he was selling interview rights. He was charging for photos. He sold the rights to films about his life for millions.
Wow.
Yeah. By that point, they knew that he'd killed loads of people, but he was also suspected of killing 20 plus more Western backpackers. And actually, the number of his victims is to this day unknown.
Oh, no.
But he wasn't done, Geordie. In 2003, he decided to return to Nepal, because he's living this quiet life in France. Now, Nepal was one of the few countries where he could still be arrested and prosecuted for murder.
Didn't do your research, Charles.
He turned up under a fake name with a fake passport.
He thought he was untouchable.
So he thought he had it all over them. He was there talking about setting up a shawl export company.
A what?
Selling shawls.
Oh.
Yeah, like wraps.
Well, I sold Tibetan rucksacks that I bought in Nepal when I first arrived in London on the street corners.
There you go. Well, in other reports, he apparently told people he was setting up a mineral water business.
Oh, I wouldn't drink his mineral water.
No, thank you. But on the 1st of September 2003, a journalist from the Himalayan Times spotted him. He was sitting in a casino in Kathmandu.
Yeah.
Again, living his best life. The journalist was like, that's fucking Charles Sobhraj.
Yeah.
So he followed him for 2 weeks, took loads of photos, ran the story in the Himalayan Times. The Nepalese police read it and went, oh, fuck.
We ought to do something. What do you think?
So they raided the casino and Charles was still there, completely unaware that his past had caught up with him. He was arrested, thrown into a high-security prison in Kathmandu while the police reopened the old double murder case from 1975, which were the killings of the Canadian Laurent Carrière and the American Connie Jo Bronzich. They had evidence. It was old, but it was solid. And a lot of that evidence had been collected by Herman Nippenberg.
Yes.
Because in his capacity looking into the Dutch, he collected all this evidence against Charles. And on the 20th of August 2004, Charles was sentenced to life imprisonment by a Nepalese court for the murder of Connie Jo Bronzich. He appealed, claiming he'd been denied a fair trial. But they went, get fucked. And the Supreme Court of Nepal upheld the conviction in July 2010 and added a year to his sentence for entering the country illegally. Yep, they also ordered the seizure of all his property.
How old is he at this point?
Well, he was born in 1944, so...
I'm not doing that maths, Michelle.
Don't ask me. I have to count on fingers if I'm going to do this.
No, forget it. He's in his late 50s, I'd say early 60s.
Well, 2008, while he's still behind bars, he marries a woman called Nahita Biswas, who's a Nepalese woman who was 44 years younger than him.
Wow.
Now, there's a bit of fuss about whether or not it was a real wedding or like a blessing ceremony, but it made headlines. Charles was loving it, and even from prison, he managed to keep himself in the spotlight. In September 2014, the Nepalese court went a bit further. They convicted him again, this time for the 1975 murder of Laurent Carrière. because I think it was only for Connie Joe. And they gave him another 20 years. But by this point, he's getting on.
Yeah.
He'd had open heart surgery and more health problems than he could charm his way out of. But still, he spent nearly 20 years locked up in Nepal. Fast forward to December 2022. He's 78 years old. And the Supreme Court of Nepal decide, let's let him go.
Oh, he's done his time.
He's done his time. They cite his age and good behaviour, and they tell him he's got 15 days to get the fuck out of Nepal.
Wow.
So, on the 23rd of December 2022...
This story goes on and on, doesn't it, Michelle?
I know, sorry. On the 23rd of December, just before Christmas, 2022, Charles Sobhraj walks free, and he gets on a flight to France. And he's finally back in France, a free man. To this day, still denies being a serial killer, saying, oh, the media got it wrong. So did the courts.
He's still alive.
He's alive. Dude is still alive.
Ah.
So basically, this guy killed or was suspected of killing at least 12 people that we know of, but more likely 20, 30.
20 odd. Yeah.
Depending on the articles you read. Those poor Western backpackers on the hippie trail had no idea what kind of predator they'd run into. Same with my dentist's friend. No clue.
Yeah.
But, Geordie, I feel like they've branded him a serial killer. But as you sort of spoke about earlier, I don't think he killed people for the pleasure of killing them. I think he did it more to
Means to an end.
preserve his life of crime.
Yeah.
So if you got in the way, you got killed. And I kind of liken him more to a gangster who just kills to get you to disappear, you know?
Yeah.
Serial killer, not sure I would really agree with that. I think he's a narcissist, but I don't think he is a psychotic serial killer looking to hunt people to kill. I think he's killing to just, oh, you're in the way and I need to preserve myself.
Because he doesn't actually have
trophies.
any kind of...
Well, he's got their passports, but they're not trophies. They're a means to an end. This story, it's so like tangled and you don't know where lies are and truth and all of this stuff. And he does slither his way out of everything. And like I said, dude is still alive. He's 82, living in France. And I wonder, is he still ripping people off?
Well, how's he living? Giving interviews, charging for stories, maybe...
Probably.
Maybe he benefited from the TV series that was out a couple of years ago.
Maybe.
Books.
I know people who are 82,
Yeah.
you know, like friends' parents and whatnot. 82 is not old. If you've still got a little bit of health and a bit of gumption, you can still have a life of crime. Because people will be like, oh, that cute old man, predator. You know, you don't know. So,
and do we forgive them just because they're old?
No, it's in your DNA to be a killer and a con man and a rip-off artist.
Or if you've done the crime, you need to do the time. And I guess they consider him as having done the time.
Well, I guess so.
But there are people who are being, you know, sent to the gas chamber for a lot less.
Yes. And he's done all of this stuff. He's now living in France. And I mean, you think about it, he's a charmer. Who knows? I'm just speculating here. I'm not saying he's doing this. Don't come for me. But he could be ripping off little old ladies and getting their life savings. Who knows? He's got that silver tongue.
Yeah, but I would say that people have got their eye on him. You know, he's not going to go under the radar again. No one's going to be drinking his Kool-Aid from any more parties.
No, they're not. They're not drinking the temazepam. So there you have it. That is the story of Charles Sobhraj.
Thank you so much. That was a really great rundown of an incredible story, which has been obviously covered a lot in the press, on TV, in books, because that's how that guy makes his money now, I imagine.
And podcasts. Maybe I'm giving him airtime, so I'm just as bad.
Hi, Charles.
Hi, Charles. Right. Well, thank you for listening to that twisty-turny story.
It's my pleasure. It's all our pleasures, Michelle. Thank you for doing your research. It was brilliant. But it is rather distressing, isn't it? I mean, it's raised so many questions about justice and has it been done? And I guess the waters were muddied because of the international, you know, different people having different laws for crimes that have done and proving things and all this kind of thing. And of course, he always has a great time in prison, which is almost like, well, what's the point of him being there?
Well, it's not a punishment, is it?
Exactly.
He's throwing a fucking party.
Yeah, he'll always have a good time.
So he's an interesting character.
Yeah, to say the least.
I would not want him in my orbit.
What did your dentist's boyfriend say about him?
That he was a really nice guy and he never felt any kind of dodgy danger around him.
Right.
And he was quite shocked when suddenly his mate that he met was in the papers being a serial killer.
Well, you would be shocked, wouldn't you?
Yeah. He thought he was a nice guy and rich and was selling jewels.
When do we trust? When can we fully trust? Are we always seeing the full picture?
No, of course not. You just got to trust your gut on these things.
Yeah, sometimes our gut lies.
Yes, it's true.
Or doesn't show us the full picture either. We're not as clever as we think we are.
No.
Not as clever as Charles Sobhraj, that's for sure.
No, he's a clever clogs.
He's got everyone else's number.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks, Michelle. That's incredible. Thank you for the true crime.
Thank you. We haven't done a deep dive true crime for a while, so there it is.
Thank you. But listen, that's it for this episode. We have to chuff off now.
Chuff. Yes. Chuff, chuff.
Chuff. We're chuffing.
Chuffing.
But make sure you come back next week because there's more eavesdropping to come every week.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. We don't give up. We don't have a break. We don't have holidays.
No. And until then, there's really only 3 things left to say.
Wherever you are.
Whatever you do.
Just
keep
eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping.
Dropping.
Ouch. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping all day long. Eavesdropping. This is the song.
Drop it like it's hot.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.